people are gathered at the Langton Star Centre, waiting to see something.
Now, good weather is vital to successful eclipse watching. So we're hoping to get ourselves an incredible view.
There is quite a bit of cloud cover around.
Even with this cloud, it's going to be very dark and very eerie here.
Any news to report? Is it darker, getting darker, or anything from your end at all?
Seems normal to me.
This is a right washout, isn't it?
Sadly, we cannot see the spectacular view of the sun.
Now, this is Stonehenge. I think we're going to Stonehenge. There it is. The clouds are there at the moment.
Should we take a look at some of those pictures, because they're quite stunning?
Yeah, we've got one here. It's just cloud.
We're standing on an actual roof, looking at the actual sky, virtually observing something that's not really happening.
It was a cloudy day, and I was thinking, OK, well, I'll pretend that this is exciting.
So, Chris, have you got a clear view of the solar eclipse yet?
Not just yet.
Can we go downstairs and admit that we haven't seen a single thing, or do we have to continue to pretend?
The great British broadcasting companies reporting on the big story of the week this week, the solar eclipse.
Yeah, a very British solar eclipse.
A very British solar eclipse, yeah. We were bathed in cloud.
Yeah, which is kind of normal.
I was looking forward to it as well, that's the thing.
If I'm totally honest, I had heard of a solar eclipse, but I only saw it on Facebook through the I Fucking Love Science Facebook page.
Right, yeah.
And usually they only really report on American things, so I didn't bother looking into it. So I didn't actually realise it was us that was getting the total solar eclipse.
I see.
But I was at work anyway in a factory, so I wouldn't have seen it.
This is true. I mean,
although to be fair, even if I wasn't at work and I was outside, I wouldn't
you
have
wouldn't
seen
have seen it anyway. No, I was at work, but I thought I'd quite enjoyed peeking my head out of the door. You know, sod what they think, because we'll come to that later.
Yeah.
And I'll have a look at the eclipse as it happens, the partial solar eclipse, because it wasn't a full one over here.
Was it like 98%?
Something like that. And yeah, it was just really cloudy and disappointing on the day.
I couldn't see anything, and it didn't...
As you've heard from all around the country there, it was the same story everywhere.
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, that wasn't our clip.
I wish I'd put that clip together, but I've got to credit the Scott Mills show.
Yes,
for that.
Radio 1. They are very good at doing stuff like that. They see the comedy and everything, and that was just a bit of a washout.
It's a bit of a washout there.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, it's not like it's a once in a lifetime thing. It does come around. What are we going to get? 3, maybe 4 in our life?
Yeah, something like that. We've already had one in about 99.
Yeah, 15.
Something
14,
like
15 years ago.
Yeah,
I was at 14 or 15
maybe,
years old. So the next one's like 20 years time.
Because the last one was quite good. I was living in Maidstone at the time, and it went really dark, so dark that the birds stopped singing.
Yes,
which was eerie. Really
and then as it
strange.
started to get light again, they started singing again.
It was strange.
It was very strange, but that was in August of 99, so it was in the middle of summer, which was why there was no cloud.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean anything, but...
Well, March is normally better than this, but you know.
It's grey today. It's just a grey sky.
Yeah, it's Britain.
Yeah, it's Britain in sort of March.
But yeah, this time round, it just looked like it was going to snow or rain. It looked like really dark rain clouds had come over, and that was about it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so,
that was when there was no sun behind them. So, like, you could see, like, the clouds got darker. But for some reason, even though the sun was mostly covered, it didn't actually get darker, which was really weird. It didn't go
totally dark. It was a bit dusky.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
Well, apparently,
so,
I didn't see it.
that was our experience of the celestial magic that happens.
Yeah. We're so like it's just insane that we're at the perfect distance that the moon is the perfect size to completely cover the sun.
Yeah.
Only just. So when it does get a total and you get the halo. It's fucking, I mean, to be fair, the halo does extend quite far around the sun anyway.
I'm really sorry about that.
It's fine. Now you're talking constantly. But the solar flares do extend quite far. So even if the moon was a bit bigger, than the sun, then relative to our distance, obviously.
Yeah.
Is that no? Hang on, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I
yeah,
feel
then you would still see a flare anyway. But it is just a perfect distance. I'm playing with a hairband; it's distracting me. But yeah, so the flares around the sun. Yeah, I mean, last time you're not supposed to look directly at an eclipse because when it uncovers, you will burn your retinas.
Yes.
I now wear glasses. Make of that what you will. I look directly at the eclipse.
Is that what happened?
No, I doubt it's because of that. It's because I watch too much TV and I've got bad genetics.
Your
My mum and dad,
origin story.
My mum and dad both wear glasses.
Ah, right, yeah.
My brother and my sister don't. I do.
You got the bad.
I got that one. Yeah, but it's. I looked at it. It's. Yeah. You quick glance.
You can't not, can you really?
No.
I didn't buy those silly glasses that came with the sun or whatever. They look silly.
Or the cardboard with a bit of paper behind it.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No,
Just
I
look at it.
I want first-hand experience.
Yeah.
So a bit of a washout.
Bit of a disappointment. But I wasn't going to see it anyway, so I'm quite glad.
On a selfish
nothing
level.
to be envious of. Yeah. I mean, have you done it? Because we haven't actually recorded for 2 weeks.
This is true
because it was Mother's Day in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK
last week, so we didn't actually. We did the this or that episode.
That's right. Yeah, the hypotheticals episode that went quite well. Though I don't think anyone has given us an answer to the hypothetical question we put out at the end. Were there any emails? I
think Robbie did. Yes,
did he?
Actually,
go on,
surprisingly.
Go on. Because obviously Robbie as well kept us up to date with what he was thinking throughout the show.
The episodes. It's brilliant. I like when he does that.
Yeah, so do I. It's great. Where is it? Because I went down to the last episode as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You went to 111, didn't you?
Yeah. So he was saying that he would rather have people forget who he is so that he can still know who he is
himself.
Like we
did it for a different reason. Yeah. We didn't want people. We did it in the podcast way. What's the word I'm looking for?
The kind of the
narcissistic. Yeah, we'd rather that. Oh, they didn't get the hurt of.
Yeah,
like us not knowing who they are.
We're such wonderful people. Sometimes we don't spot the comedy in what we're saying until a week afterwards when someone mentions it, like Kelly, for example.
The line about would I have to fight the turtle, which at the time was just like would I have to because they've got a nasty bite. Yeah. That's just a ridiculous question. But we love that people point that sort of thing out to us. But Robbie was like, yeah, I'd rather know who I am rather than I wouldn't want people to deal with the fact that I can't remember them. So I'd, for fuck's sake, I'd rather they didn't know who I was. Yeah. So they didn't have the pain.
We're such idiots. He also said that he wouldn't mind being a woman for a week just to see how a day in the life would be different. Exactly.
We'd rather just sit there and play with ourselves. Yeah. I think we said.
Pretty much. And he also said that he'd leave the money, unlike
the briefcase in the forest. You take the risk.
I'd take the risk because I'm selfish and I need
did we
money.
Decide that we wouldn't because we wouldn't want to put our loved ones at risk?
I think, that was...
the one time we actually thought of everyone else.
Possibly.
Oh, fuck's sake. Christ. Yeah, but in response to our question...
the question was, would you rather lose an eye in a fireworks accident or have your face mauled by an animal leaving you with a Michael Jackson-style nose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said as much as it would hurt, he'd rather lose an eye in a fireworks accident because I'd look cool wearing an eye patch because it's only one eye, which was the important thing.
Yeah, that's true.
He'd have custom eye patches with fun designs to help cheer me up and show the world I'm alright with just one eye. Getting mauled by an animal and losing my nose would keep me indoors. I'd hate for people to see me that way. So he said the variety of questions were intriguing and entertaining. A lot were tough to answer, but they did make him think.
Yeah. And that's the point of a hypothetical, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
And I did ask a few people at work and they were just coming out with a straight answer, and it's difficult, because we were sitting having the conversation. And in all honesty, we could answer the questions quite easily, but we wanted to make each other think.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming up with extra, like Jake does on Ridgecast, to be fair. He comes up with, but no, what if
little
it was like this instead?
Here and there. Yeah, absolutely.
Just adding to it. So... Awesome, Robbie. Thank you, Robbie and Kelly, for seeing the comedy in our stupidity.
From 2 weeks ago, Robert England was saying about the Badger thing. Not that one. He was saying that he was introduced to the badger.com about 10 years ago, and he used to turn up the volume and hide his speakers to leave it for his wife to find, sending her insane in the process, I'd imagine. And you were saying one of our old friends used to do that. But
my friend James, I was his best man at his wedding. He used to want to piss off his family. It was when we were younger. He had a lock on his bedroom door. So he used to load it up on his PC, and it was on repeat on the website, I think. Yeah. He used to turn his speakers up, go out and lock the door. So nobody could get in to turn it off. And he would go out all day.
What an arsehole.
But amazing. He used to do that with the llama song as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The last episode of, and we can't go a week without talking about them, Two Loose Screws. Andrew was saying about that.
Yes,
Badger. And they actually played... oh, fucking hell. It was the Lord of the Rings one. There was a Lord of the Rings
Taking
one.
the Hobbits to Isengard?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they played that at the end.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it. I was like, I don't think I know that one. They played it at the end. I was like, that one.
That was a good one. I used to pass that round to people in emails.
Yeah. They played that at the end, which was... I was laughing to myself, standing at my machine at work, sounding like an idiot.
Thank you to Andy. He's Warlord and Nice Guy on Twitter at Song of the Os. He has put us on Nobex Radio, which is another way that you can get in contact with us that we may or may not have mentioned in the intro. Who knows?
Yeah, good point. Yes, it's a bit like Stitcher. I think it's just like a personal radio station.
So it's another way, yet another way you can listen to us.
If you don't like any of the options
if you don't like all those options that we gave you at the start of the show.
So Robbie agreed with us about the Dancing Man from episode 111. He said his only concern for the Dancing Man is that celebrities won't use him to gain, or would use him to gain likes or to try and steal his thunder. Which, it is a bit of a dodgy. It's a bit tread carefully. I mean, he wants regular updates on him. So I suppose we're going to have to get into contact with him.
We'll give it a go for definite.
We'll try and interview him. Why not?
We're entering into some strange territory at the moment. We're switching things up a little bit. You may have noticed already.
Yeah. Or not. We don't know. So it's cool. I mean, it's been pretty productive couple of weeks.
It has,
to that.
I'd just like to say that Jake as well. We were talking about superhero films. The other week, Jake from Ridgecast, as we mentioned earlier on, was saying that I have to push through half of Gotham before it gets good, and I stopped. I don't know whether I've got it in me. I might do when it's on a streaming service and I can get the whole thing and I can watch it all in one big go. I might give that a go. He also said to you that Arrow takes 1.5 seasons and then it's great, but why would you watch 1.5 seasons before it gets good?
I was thinking there's quite a lot. Half a season is quite a lot, but we did it for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
and then it got really good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was willing to go with it.
Yeah, because it's Marvel.
Yes, which are better.
Yeah. But 1.5 seasons is quite a lot. No, like I said, I did watch a couple of episodes. Oh, I think I watched 1.5 episodes, and I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I could sit and watch it, but I only stopped watching it because I want
Liz.
time for me and Liz to both watch it. At the minute, Walking Dead's on. Game of Thrones is coming back next month, so it's just finding time. There are other things I would rather watch in the meantime.
Yeah, I understand.
But I will give Arrow a go, and I really did enjoy the Flash pilot.
Yeah,
when I watched
see,
it.
These things I need to start with before they get too much further down the road, because then I won't bother. Do you know what I mean?
It's not like a podcast.
Yeah.
But it's but podcasts are easier. You can listen to them while you're walking.
Whenever,
TV shows you have to make time for.
Yeah.
But I do like DC. I just prefer the way Marvel do their things.
This is true.
Yeah. So
we've picked up a new follower on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm a ghost at Des Moines Ghost.
Ooh. Yeah, sorry, carry
on. He has, he's not a new listener.
No.
He's just come forward.
Made himself known.
Yeah, he's been listening to / enjoying the podcast for some time now, thanks to Nerd Church now following us. Thank you very much. I'm a ghost.
And thank you, Nerd Church.
And thank you to Nerd Church for continuing to give us shout outs. We hope that we are also contributing to your audience at some point.
On the subject of Nerd Church, Monday, I believe, Michael's flying back to Ireland.
He is, yes.
I still don't know if I can get out. I mean, that was very short notice. It was like the end of last week.
He already knows that I can't go out there because, stuff that we'll talk about later on in the episode as well.
Yeah, Ryanair.
Yes, so this week I went, in the last 2 weeks, I went for a second job interview at that place that I was talking about that I went for the first one a few weeks back. And then last Friday I was offered the job.
Hey, I've got a cheer on my iPad. I put my iPad down.
Rubbish. There it is. We're in post.
It's too late now. But so you did tweet it out and you retweeted it, so people might have seen. I'm
now a professional writer.
Your university degree
has actually done me some favour. 7 years after I graduated.
It's finding the right job, though, isn't it?
It's being tenacious as well. It's carrying on. Up. Yeah, exactly. And I haven't really. There was a point at which I thought I was going to have to.
Yeah.
But thank fuck, I'm not going to be working for that bank anymore.
Yes. Brilliant.
I can't.
I mean, you've heard over the last sort of year or so.
I think since the beginning of the podcast, I'm going to be honest, I've been suffering a bit with what you might describe as depression.
Yeah.
Since
lethargy as well, kind of like.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's hand in hand. It's kind of like you're enjoying what you're doing, but you can't enjoy it to the full because you've got this thing in the back.
Yeah, and I want to do something else with my life. I want to apply what I learned and studied hard to get.
Yeah.
And start an actual career that means something to me.
Something you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Is the most important thing.
I tell you what, on Friday, a weight lifted off me when I got that phone call that I thought I was going to pass out.
Really?
I got wobbly and...
kind of a rush of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Sort of elation and adrenaline all kind of...
Yeah.
That's brilliant, though. It's great news. I mean, you text me when you found out, and I was happy for you. Like I did actually, I kind of improved my mood quite a lot just hearing that you got it, because it's just brilliant news. Like something you've worked hard for, and you've never given up. You've been writing. You've got your blog. You write our posts. Good practice, and
that's it. I've kept my hand in, and it's finally paying off. The weird thing is, like in the interviews that I had, I used the podcast as an example of how I stayed kind of doing things
on top of things and practicing using your voice.
Yeah, being able to broadcast, keeping on top of like blogging and running websites.
Yeah.
They were saying they were looking to go into kind of video, like producing their own video snippets for the websites and things like that. And I said that we use video, and that I've done a bit of video editing myself, which I have done for the 3 Peaks Challenge thing and some of the other bits. And they were quite interested in that. They were also interested in podcasting as a medium.
Yeah.
So it's something they hadn't thought about doing, but are now fairly interested in, as far as I can tell.
So it might
which means that it might actually this might become an actual job.
Yeah.
For me, I might actually get paid to do a podcast further down the line.
It's part of your job.
Yeah.
Which, because the job, I don't think you've actually told anyone is...
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's for a publishing company called Findlay Media.
Yeah.
And they produce magazines and websites for the engineering and industrial and mechanical...
kind of crosses over with my... Well, I work in manufacturing. I'm an operator, but I'm
it's manufacturing and engineering publications. And it ranges from writing stuff about microchips right up to the aerospace industry.
Yeah.
And like almost like theoretical stuff.
Yeah, and it's for the website rather than the print side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, though there is a bit of crossover. It doesn't matter. It's in the industry.
One of your articles could get featured in the magazine as from our website this week or something.
Yeah.
So, it's really good. It kind of crosses over. Like, you are in the new media sort of area anyway with the podcasting and the blogging.
Yeah.
So you're kind of applying that So what you've been doing in your spare time as a hobby has now helped you get
a job.
Which in a roundabout way has kind of happened to me as well.
Oh, right.
Not as a job, but doing the video editing and the podcast.
Yes.
I actually got my first freelance job this week.
You did, didn't you?
Which was editing a podcast video for somebody else,
Yeah.
which was really good. And I got paid only a little bit of money for it, but you know, it's kind of helped. And now I've got a rating on that website, which will improve my chances of getting more jobs on the website.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of happened, and I really enjoyed. I came home from work and I would edit the video for them, and really good, really interesting,
Good stuff. What kind of podcast was it?
It was. I think they're like an entrepreneur website,
right?
Like a community. So like you pay to be part of that community where they teach you how to apply your he was interviewing a woman who's got her own companies and PR company. So kind of like how you can use PR and how media is changing things. So it's like a entrepreneur website, and it's just training people.
Cool.
But you know, it's just one of those weird things where that kind of doesn't really interest me.
No.
But
the editing
the video
side
was
is.
really
Yeah,
good.
that's what you enjoy.
Yeah, I'll have to show you it afterwards.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
What happened was the internet connection. They were doing it over Skype. The internet connection was a bit dodgy, so I had to kind of take the video and cut out bits where it went weird and just tidy it up for him. And he sent me the video, which was just side by side of him and him on one side and the woman on the other side. And I just kind of separated it into 3 tracks. So you had a track with the 2 of them. Then you had a track with just him and a track with just her, and I was cutting between them.
Yeah.
So, which wasn't necessarily what he asked for, but he really liked it. And in my review, he said he plans on using me for all of his videos now.
Oh, sweet.
So when he puts up a sort of project on there, I will bid on it, and he might choose me again. So it might be a regular gig with him.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Well done to you as well. Go
Yay! Narcissism rules this podcast.
No, but it's one of those things, like we did the Dream Jobs episode.
Yeah.
Which we spoke about, and we were saying about, it's good, it's kind of inspiring, and since then we've both kind of persevered.
Honestly, from that, it's people like Robbie and Steve from Drunk
and
Geeks and Miles,
Joe as well, who's doing something she loves.
Yeah, and people who are they're doing stuff they really, really enjoy. Whether it's a vocation or whether it's an actual job or whether it's just something they do, like being a father, like Robbie said. I genuinely think from that podcast, I started applying myself a lot more to trying to get on and do something. And so I'd really, really like to thank everyone who's listened to this podcast and everyone who's kind of contributed and said nice things and kind of shown us that, I don't know, in a way, people like Robbie really has inspired me.
Yeah, for sure.
To become a better person and try to improve my life a bit. So
it's encouraging us.
Yeah.
Basically encouraging us and showing us that, do you know what, you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, because as you know, we're quite pessimistic people.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I think this has really helped both our outlooks a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like, them, rather than applying for jobs just for the sake of, I don't like this job, I'm going to apply for any old job just to get me out of here. You were like, do you know what, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to apply for something and push myself to do something that I really want to do.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of, from that, I was like, do you know what, sign up for these freelance websites, and even if I can't do it, even if I don't think I'll be able to do that job, apply for it.
Yeah, do it.
Just to
Push
see if
yourself,
I can.
Get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
It is so encouraging. Like, those guys, so yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, it's another thing that this podcasting has brought us that we didn't realise at the start that it would.
Yeah most definitely. So just a big thank you.
Wow.
I didn't expect it to get that deep.
That's a good odd
but
turn.
yeah
but no, it's people like that just show us. And one of the weirdest things from the start, I think, was when people were kind of like, "Oh, you guys are so nice, you're great at it," and it's kind of what, us really, just kind of like not having much confidence in ourselves, and they kind of gave us that confidence.
Yeah,
but we don't let it get to our heads.
No,
don't.
No. This is the first time we've acknowledged it.
Yeah,
in this way.
We hinted, right? Let's get on to normal stuff. Stop being stupid and sappy.
I'm going to cry otherwise. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like Smokey.
So, shots fired.
Yeah. So, Chris Osborne.
Oh, okay.
because I'm wary of the time.
Good point.
Chris Osborne at Ozit on Twitter. He sent in a story. Sometimes a news story just screams at me to forward it to you, and it's about a nurse who is living in a hutch to highlight the plight of pet rabbits
for 48 hours.
Yeah, and Ozzy thought that we would get a kick out of this,
which we did.
We did, and it's gone much further than any of us ever thought. So
I think
the best thing to do,
rather than us try and explain it,
is let her explain it. We had a chat with her on Friday night. Her name is Emma Purnell, and this is the interview that we did on Friday night.
Enjoy.
So, Emma Purnell, you are fundraising for animal charities. You are spending a weekend in a human-sized hutch in a rabbit onesie. Is that correct?
I am, yes. For my sins, I am indeed.
What brought about this crazy plan?
This slightly bonkers idea. To be perfectly honest, I had a very stressed out week at work and had a very bizarre dream that I was shut in this room that I'm currently in a rabbit hutch because I was stressing about my rabbit not being able to get out and do my work. And had a bit of a dream meltdown. Then came out and proceeded to berate all my work colleagues the next day on how stressed out they were making me, and now I was having stupid dreams. At which point one of them said, "That might be fun. Maybe you could do that." And stupidly, we then got a bit carried away with the discussion of the dream and how it might actually work as a stupid fundraiser. And it's all snowballed quite a bit from there.
Yeah,
and
to the point.
I seem to be in a hutch.
Indeed, in a rabbit onesie with a guinea pig.
Yeah, with little Norman, who looks just as confused as I do.
Why are you here?
Yeah, why do you keep looking at me? Why have I only got you to talk to? This is so unfair.
And I did say on Twitter last night that I love it when people give animals human names.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is great. I mean, we've got a cat called Gary.
It's true, you do.
So,
that's perfect.
Yeah, he's actually named after the snail in SpongeBob SquarePants.
Good stuff.
And because the snail meows, that's the thing. It's odd. It's a very odd program.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's my doing. No, you said you were stressed out at work. Now, what is it exactly you do?
I am head nurse here, so I'm a veterinary nurse. I kind of do all the general veterinary nurse jobs like anaesthetics and radiography and clinics with clients and things. But then I manage the rest of the team as well. So I was stressing about rota and being short-staffed and all the usual things that anybody that has to deal with a team has to worry about on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And so, where is here exactly? Sorry.
I work at the Stocks Veterinary Centre. It's in Upton-upon-Severn in Worcestershire, in the middle of a lovely area of countryside.
Indeed, it is. So you're making dreams a reality in a twisted kind of way.
In a really wrong kind of way.
And you managed to gain the attention of the national press as well.
I have. I think it must have been a quiet news day. I mean, it's brilliant because I did do it. I've done it partly to raise funds for a couple of really awesome rabbit charities that are local to me, both of which have helped me to not have to put animals to sleep by taking them on in horrible situations. And they just do so much good work. And I've wanted to do something for them for a long time. But part of it was also just getting the word out a little bit about rabbit care and how people do it and how maybe people aren't doing it quite how they should. So it's great that it has gone so far, but it certainly was all done very tongue-in-cheek when I started, and now it seems to have ballooned a little bit, and I'm sitting slightly baffled in a hut laughing at abuse online, which I think comes with the territory.
Are you being roundly abused, are you?
There's certainly been quite a fair bit of how stupid I am and how I should stay in here forever and how ugly I am, which I'm not entirely sure has any bearing on the whole charity thing.
Why do people instantly go there? Like, I don't understand why people do that.
Fun. It's easy. It's something they haven't got to think about, and it's fine, I don't care, and how I should be raising money for children in Palestine rather than rabbits. I'm not sure why I can't worry about more than one issue at a time, but apparently because I'm doing a fundraiser for rabbits, I can't care about anything else that's going on in the world.
Yeah, we recently had this debate with someone else about the black and blue or the white and gold dress thing.
Yeah.
But,
Had a lot of disagreements on that one.
Yeah, that was a guy on another podcast raised a good point that it gets people talking, whether it's about anything that everyone cares about or not. It gets people talking, and then you can move the conversation onto other stuff. So, but I like the fact that you're doing this anyway. Like, and you're saying about this charity that takes on rabbits that might otherwise be put down. Now, there are lots of people doing work for places like Battersea Dogs Home and like cat charities.
Yeah.
Why not rabbits as well? You know, there's lots of people doing that. It's not that they're not worthy causes at all. Like, they're all worthy causes, but nobody's kind of raising this about rabbits. And it sounds odd to say. It really does. But it's true.
I know it does. It sounds completely bonkers, but it really is a case of we do a lot with dogs and cats on a daily basis. I look after dogs and cats all the time. I've kind of dealt with horrible situations where people have got to give them up or they might be put to sleep, and we've found them rescue spaces with there. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to go and raise money for them. It's just happened to be the one that for some reason has caught people's attention because I've done something that bit more stupid. And maybe that's the way to go in future.
Well, I think, as I said to you last night, people seem to have to do slightly more outlandish things to gain attention. And I don't think that's a bad idea. You know, I don't think it's a bad thing. You to be able to, I mean, without your story getting into the national press, our listener would never have found it and given it to us, and we'd never have got on board and then spreading it to more people. So every little bit of exposure helps, I suppose.
Yeah, very much so. And I think even rabbits just change one little thing about what they're doing. I think another thing that I've kind of roundly been picked on is that I'm going around and preaching at people and telling them they're doing everything wrong, which I don't remember doing that in any way, shape or form. And I'm not turning around and telling any one person that what they're doing is completely wrong for their rabbit care. What I'm trying to do is say, actually, look, there are all these different options. You can do all these different things. Is there one or two things you can take home and improve your rabbit's life with? And I've learned so much just doing this fundraiser that I've taken home for my own buns and gone, oh, actually, I'd never have thought of doing that. Let's chuck in this different toy, or let's feed them these different branches or something obscure like that. But just little things that can help. And if a couple of people pick up a couple of points, then I've kind of done something. And that's all I was really aiming for.
Yeah, and I think a very good thing to note about it as well is that you're not preaching, telling them they're doing it wrong. It's not through any fault of their own. It's through lack of education. It's ignorance, but not in the negative sense. It's just they're ignorant to it because they've never been taught. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you're raising awareness for it.
Yeah, a lot of the problem is that rabbits were kept as food. They were kept as food items, and people had one or two rabbits in a little hutch in the back garden. They could feed them muesli food so they'd get fat quick because it was a small area and they couldn't move around, so they'd get nice and fat, and then they'd take them in and eat them. And that was what they were all built for. That's what the foods were built for. That's what the hutches were built for. And it's trying to move on from that now that we treat rabbits in a different way. And that just means that a lot of the information that was out there and that people have grown up knowing is just really outdated. That's all it is. And it's just trying to move things forward. People are surprised when people keep their dogs outdoors now or chained up. But if you think of a few years ago, that was how it was always done. It's just exactly the same. It's just moving things on a little bit at a time and trying to improve things.
See, I didn't even know that. So that's, you know, I didn't realise that was what the rabbit hutch was for, is to keep them confined and then fatten them up to then eat later. That's
most people don't. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's almost working like a battery farm, isn't it?
I suppose so, yeah, really.
But people used to do it at home for their rabbits.
Yeah, they'd stuff them in, they'd breed, and then they'd have a few more, and then they'd fatten them all up and eat them, and that was what it was all about. So
yeah, and generally, like Tom and I were talking beforehand, is when you go to a pet shop to buy sort of hutches or food for your rabbits, there's usually only that one size that everyone goes for, which is tiny one, which I suppose may be enough for one rabbit as long as you're letting it out to go if you've got a rabbit, run for it as well. But to keep it in there constantly, like people do. I mean, we were guilty of it when we were younger. We had pet rabbits and they stayed in their hutch, and we got them out to cuddle them. But that's just because that's what was done.
Yeah, exactly. And that wasn't wrong back then, and it's in a way not wrong now if that's the way you want to think about it. But if you're thinking about the welfare of the rabbit and the best thing for them, there is so much more that we can do now. I mean, the recommended minimum size for any rabbit hutch is 6 foot by 2 foot by 2.5 foot high.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you go into any pet shop, how many 6 foot hutches do you see?
Well, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, you're not going to pick them up off the shelf, are you, at that size?
And that's the recommended minimum for any rabbit. So, I mean, that really shows that while the RSPCA guidelines and the recommended guidelines have moved forward, maybe the pet shops and things that can make a lot more profit on a small, easily churned out hutch might not be quite as following along. And of course, they're not going to stand in a pet shop where people are going in and buying their impulse buy rabbits and tell them not to buy any of their hutches.
Very true.
Good point. Yeah. What about indoor rabbits? Because I know a few people who've had indoor rabbits in the past. Yeah. That obviously is a lot better, but they surely need to be outside as well, right?
As long as they've got the space and as long as they've got the ability to kind of show normal natural behaviours, so things like having trays to dig in, obviously making sure all the wires are covered and having the space, there's not really any problem with having an indoor quite happy rabbit as long as they can show the natural behaviours and they've got the correct diet. So 80% of a rabbit's diet should be hay.
Right.
And nothing else. It's crazy, and they should only have a very small amount of the kind of food, and ideally pellets and not muesli, and then just kind of a handful of green leafy veg. So as long as they're getting that, then having them indoors, having them outdoors, it doesn't really matter as long as they're getting the ability to behave normally and show the behaviours that they should normally be showing.
I see.
So
right.
the stereotypical rabbit food of carrots is a no-go by the sounds of it.
It's okay for a treat, but they're really high in sugar. They're quite good, particularly when they're fairly sedentary and they're not getting up and they're not moving around as much as they should.
Right.
High sugars and sitting around, you're going to end up with a fat rabbit.
So Bugs Bunny is part of the problem.
I was going to say.
Yeah. He should be a lot fatter than he looks.
Well, he does a lot of running away from Elmer Fudd, so he gets plenty of exercise.
There is that. He gets the exercise, so maybe he balances out the carrots. Maybe he just needs the carrots for energy. Maybe that's what we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it? He was voiced by Mel Blanc, who was notoriously allergic to carrots.
Oh, really?
But the carrot.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it's true. No, maybe not allergic. I just think he just didn't like the taste of carrots.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. It's one or the other. But basically, they went through all sorts of types of root vegetable to try and make the same sound, but nothing sounded like a carrot, so he had to eat carrots to make that sound.
Oh, my word.
And then he had like a spittoon next to him while he was recording the voice.
Wow. That's something I didn't know. I'm going to use that this weekend.
Yeah, you do. It's one of those, useless pub quiz facts that I have stored away in my brain.
That's a great one.
Just like this.
So back to like your task, your task at hand. I call it. In terms of entertainment, other than talking to us and other sort of news agencies, what have you got entertainment wise? And like, is the surgery open over the weekend?
The surgery's open on Saturday and Sunday for kind of consults and bits, but actually because I'm in a little side room, we're actually opening the doors, and we have told people that can come down between 9 and 4 on the Saturday and the Sunday. So as long as somebody comes to see me, I might not be entirely bored senseless. But if they don't, I really am just going to be sitting here staring at the walls.
I mean, from the sort of exposure you're getting, I'm sure you'll get plenty of people to come down and go, what is she really in there? What is going on?
What are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, people coming and taking pictures of you sat in the hutch. You'll be posing all weekend, I think.
I'm so exhausted by that point. I'll just curl up in a corner.
Cuddling up to Norman.
Yeah, just me and Norman in a corner.
What is the significance of Norman in the hutch with you?
Moral support.
It's partly moral support. It's partly because rabbits and guinea pigs have kind of, again, fairly traditionally been brought to go alongside each other, which is a pretty rough deal for the guinea pig, really. They need a lot more vitamin C in their diet than rabbits do, so their diets shouldn't really be the same anyway. Rabbits tend to be a bit piggy when it comes to food, and they'll tend to trough as much as they can as quickly as they can, because they tend to go out and graze first thing in the morning and in the evening, and then the rest of the time they spend digesting it, whereas guinea pigs eat throughout the day. So if you put them some food in, the rabbit will trough it and the guinea pig will miss out. But also rabbits carry certain diseases that they can cope with absolutely fine. There's some respiratory diseases that really don't seem to affect them very much, but they will tend to be fatal in a guinea pig. So if you happen to get a rabbit that's got that and put a guinea pig in with it, you're probably going to lose your guinea pig. And they tend to be much bigger, much stronger if they lash out. Guinea pigs have got quite a fragile spine, so you can imagine they're going to squish quite easy.
Yeah.
So it's just really a bit of a rough deal for the guinea pigs, and it's not really. I mean, I love Norman dearly, but it's not like having another person here with me. As much as I love him, we can't communicate properly. He stares at me like he thinks I've gone mental, and I don't know what he's thinking, but he probably is thinking that.
Probably wondering if you do tricks.
Yeah, possibly wondering what he can command me to do next, like feed him at all occasions, which I do anyway. But yeah, it's not quite the same as kind of having two rabbits together, so they can communicate, they'll mutual groom, they'll understand each other a lot better. So yeah, that's pretty much Norman, really.
So you're raising awareness for the welfare of guinea pigs as well?
Partly, yeah.
Oh,
Norman's sticking up for the guinea pigs in this one.
Yeah. It's not just about the rabbits.
No, it's very much not. I mean, Norman himself is a signed over case from work that was unwanted. So guinea pigs get just as much of a rough deal as rabbits. So
I see. So at the moment, you've spent 5 hours in the cage. Am I right? You started at 5 o'clock Friday evening.
Yeah.
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 And is there anyone there with you, or is it literally just you and Norman?
My husband is hiding at the back just so I'm not in the practice entirely on my own overnight.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say.
He's been very supportive, but he's free from the hutch. He's able to actually wander around the practice and has an actual bed to sleep in, bless him.
And is he gonna slip you some, I don't know, some contraband pizza or anything like that?
I'm working on that. He's trying to make me actually like stick to my guns at the minute, and that's very good of him.
Yes.
But I imagine I will be crying and begging by the time it gets like 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I bet. And you literally are you've only got muesli and carrots and one of those little water dispensers. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah. The muesli's already wearing really thin. I've managed half a bowl. I think I might lose some weight this weekend, so it might not be the worst thing in the world.
And are you taking the muesli completely dry as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Again, how long this is going to last and how before I'm broken, I don't know.
Now, are they letting you out to exercise at all?
No, the plan is not to. You'll be pleased to hear I'm not using the litter tray in my show only.
I mean, that's where I was headed, if I'm honest.
That was your next question, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everybody has asked that question, so that's fine. I'm not going to submit anybody to that. I am actually popping out for very quick toilet breaks when I'm really desperate. So they're the best I'm getting, really.
So you do get to stretch your legs at some point.
Yeah, just about. But I'm trying to keep it as little as possible and really try and stick this out.
Yeah, because it's quite a cramped cage that you're actually in. I don't think we've mentioned it, but it's only 5.5 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, and 4.5 feet tall. So you can't stand up, and I can't
stand up. I can just about lie down, and only because I'm really short.
Yeah.
I'm about 5 foot, so I've even got a bit of playing space lying down.
Oh, that's okay.
But it's still not great fun.
So you've got no TV, no radio. I mean, I don't know whether this this in itself is contravening the being treated like a rabbit thing. But I suppose,
it's naughty. It's very naughty. But
Right.
I'm doing it for a publicity stunt.
Well, exactly. You're doing it to raise
That's
awareness.
my excuse, and I am sticking to it.
That was very cynical of you.
So maybe we should aid the cause and probably not keep you too much longer then.
But also directing people to the My Donate website.
I think that's the most important thing. If you want to give out information where people can find more information for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I have got various different accounts. I've got a Twitter account, which is at the Hutch Rabbit. I've got Facebook group going, so if you search Facebook and Hutch Bunny, I'll appear somewhere. And I've got a My Donate page. So again, if you search Hutch Bunny and My Donate, I should appear somewhere there. And if you did want to donate a little bit towards the charities I'm supporting, I would be so grateful. This has all been very, very tongue in cheek, and I'm not taking myself seriously in the slightest doing this, but I would really, really appreciate the help for the charities, because they are just stars.
That's it. And those charities again are...
It's Fat Fluffs, who have the best name for a rabbit rescue in the world.
Really do.
And Wind Whistle Warren, who do look after rabbits and guinea pigs, and both of them are just wonderful charities that do an amazing amount for the animals in their care. Every animal that goes through there gets neutered and vaccinated, and they just do so much and have to do all their own fundraising, so they're so deserving of it.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Okay, and the official donate site is www.mydonate.bt.com/fundraisers/the Hutch Rabbit, all one word.
There we go.
Because it's right in front of me. I've not just memorised that.
I was going to say that's really good, because I haven't.
No, I have to cheat and have it in front of me. If anyone listening fancies, putting some money in, I know that I will be doing so later on myself. Then please, this is all about one woman's strife for 48 hours. You heard her yourself. She's been there for 5 hours, and she's so bored. She spent the last 30 minutes talking to us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I wasn't going to word it quite like that, but okay.
But that's the gist. That's the gist. So Emma, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for talking to me.
And thank you for giving us a little bit of content, hoping that we can raise some sort of awareness for those charities and your own personal plight.
Of course.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And who knows, we may call you on Sunday just to find out how broken you are.
That sounds like a plan. I'm probably going to be a bit quieter, but by all means, give it a go. I'll try and be chirpy.
Even if not, we'll message you over the weekend anyway to see how you are, just to make sure you're still there.
Make sure I've not curled up into a ball and desiccated. Okay.
No, well, really good luck, and thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
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 So there you just heard our interview with Emma that we did on Friday. So you know exactly how to treat your bunnies now.
Yes.
So what we thought we'd do is today we're actually going to talk to her on her final day. Last few hours.
Last few hours.
To see how her experience has been. So welcome back, Emma.
Hi.
Hello. How are you feeling?
Tired. It's been a really long couple of days.
I can imagine.
Hungry. Just a bit tired, bit kind of exhausted and quite achy as well.
So I suppose you're being cramped up, not being able to stretch your legs probably does take its toll, doesn't it? So
yeah,
it kind of now it's kind of you've only been there 48 hours. Sometimes rabbits live their whole lives.
Yeah,
in that situation.
I mean, it seems silly me complaining, really, but it just shows how if it caused me this much discomfort in kind of 48 hours, then I mean, can you imagine how it must be if you spend your entire life in there?
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what you're trying to put across, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it certainly made me think about it even more than I already had done.
Yeah, so you didn't quite realise what you were letting yourself in for, and yeah, It is a bit of a horrible situation, isn't it? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm feeling a bit more sympathetic towards animals because we were watching like an RSPCA pet rescue program this morning.
Oh, yeah.
You see,
on TV. And
so yeah, you're really in tune with all of them now.
I do really sympathise with animals that are treated cruelly. And like you say, before we heard of your story, it's not something we thought of, and now it's just kind of like,
it's on our minds a bit more, isn't it?
yeah, it's very strange.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to get anybody to go mad and change the world and start like smashing up pet shop hutches or anything crazy. But if people do think about it, and if they do think about taking on a rabbit, or they know somebody that is, then they just think about it that little bit more before they do it, rather than kind of thinking about it afterwards. It's a much better way around to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And have you managed to stick to the muesli and carrots diet as well? Have you?
Painfully so, yes. Yeah. I cannot look at muesli or carrots again.
What are the plans for when you get out?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to try not to just eat constantly for the next 2 days, but it's tempting. It's going to definitely involve a bath or a shower because I feel quite gross after 48 hours. So yeah,
I can imagine.
It's definitely going to involve a good soak in the bath if I can, and at least a decent amount of food.
And have you had much in the way of visitors?
I had a fair number yesterday. We were quite busy at a couple of points because it's not the biggest room, so we're trying to cram a few people in. But I think Sunday mornings caught everybody up, and I've kind of been on my own with my husband and my dog for quite a few hours now this morning. So I'm hoping a few people will turn up this afternoon. So
has your husband been there like the whole weekend with you?
He's been really good. He's been staying at the practice just for kind of my bodyguard as such, security reasons, making sure that I'm not completely and utterly on my own. But he's been staying on the bed out the back of the practice. So he's had slightly more luxurious surroundings than me, but it's still not been a great weekend for him either.
Well, no, but because he doesn't have to be there, I suppose, does he?
No, he's been very good.
Yeah. No, I mean, and your dog, you said your dog's there as well.
Yeah, little Jack, the Jack Russell guard dog, who's useless and is fast asleep under a blanket.
Probably quite confused in the first place, I would have thought.
Yeah, a little bit, but he's just enjoyed a weekend of being fussed and curling up on people's laps. So he's not had too stressful a time of it. He's enjoyed it quite a bit.
Good. No, I mean, we did focus a lot last time on the negative sort of comments you've been getting online. I mean, I did look again yesterday, and I see you've been getting quite a lot of positive support as well. There was a video on what newspaper's website was it?
It was.
I think it was Hereford and Worcester. BBC Hereford and Worcester, the radio station.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit of support on that page from people, like encouraging you.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really made a big difference because I could have quite easily at a couple of points got quite bogged down in all the negative stuff that was on there.
Yeah.
But I have had so much support from people, and so many people have been really nice and really, really supportive of the whole thing. And it is a bit bonkers, and they've really kind of got behind me and just made me feel a little bit less bad about it all.
I think a lot of the negative comments as well, they didn't quite understand that you realised it was quite silly.
Yeah, I think a lot of them thought I was taking myself a lot more seriously than I am. I'm not that serious about the whole thing. I know it's a stupid way to do it, but you kind of got to be a bit stupid sometimes, and if I hadn't been, I don't think I'd have got anywhere near the publicity that I've had for it. So
not at all.
I think I kind of needed to be a bit daft, and yeah, I'm quite aware it's silly. It's fine.
No, we did get a couple of questions.
We did actually, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Before when we say a couple, I literally mean two.
Like two.
That's better than none.
Exactly.
One of them was a silly question.
Yes.
We have to tell you that the guy who asked this question is well known to us. He's a fellow podcaster, and he's got a bit of a sinister personality.
Okay.
Would you say?
He's enigmatic, isn't he?
He's enigmatic.
So this is from Smokey. He said, "Did you watch Watership Down in preparation?"
I didn't. I have watched Watership Down on a number of occasions though. So I've tried to block the thought of Watership Down from my mind. I'm slightly terrified that I might be marched in and out in a kind of orderly system if I start thinking about it too much. But no, I've been really good. I've not watched Watership Down in preparation. I just have an encyclopedic knowledge of it, so it's always there in the back of my mind.
I think that film kind of wants to make you keep rabbits in cages, doesn't
it? I think it does.
Yeah, it's like it is a little bit of a publicity shot for keeping rabbits, but.
Yeah.
Hey.
And the second was from one of our United Statesian listeners, Robbie Polanco. He is one of the most frequent contributors to any podcast out there ever.
Yeah.
He's prolific. So we figured that we'd probably get a question out of him. He's a lovely person. He just wanted to know how you prepared yourself for the last for being in the cage for 2 days. Was there any kind of, I don't know,
a training
training, mental conditioning, I don't know.
The main mental conditioning was just not to think about it too much. Because if I'd have overthought it, I would have not got in here. So I just tried really to not think about it and to concentrate on things like setting up the room and setting up the displays and doing all that side of things, rather than thinking about how long I was actually going to spend in here and what I was going to be doing. So the main preparation was to not prepare.
And I think that's probably the best way to kind of prepare for anything that's strenuous and a bit of an ordeal.
Yeah, just try not to think about it.
And it seems to have worked. And I imagine you're quite glad that you've only got a couple of hours left now. What are we at? You're 5 hours now, isn't it?
5 hours
We're
to
at
go.
about midday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be a relief. It's been a really long weekend, and I am looking forward to just a little bit of not sitting in this hutch for a while.
And are you back to work on Monday as well, or have they given you some time off for this?
I have booked a couple of days of holiday.
I was going to say.
A couple of days off. I'm back in on Wednesday, so I'm going to have Monday and Tuesday to catch up on a bit of sleep and try and make it so that I can actually move my back and my hips to try and get back into work again for Wednesday.
Yeah, I think you've probably seen quite enough of that place to last you, haven't you?
I can cope without seeing this room for a few days.
Yeah, I think you have done a fantastic job. I think it's a great thing you've done.
Thank you.
And even like with all the publicity, because of the crazy nature of it and the publicity you've got, you actually managed to hit your target and raise more.
Indeed,
I'm completely astonished by how much I've managed to raise for the charities. I'm so thrilled because they really deserve it. So I'm really, really happy with the level of support and the help I've had from everybody. So
and is the website, the donate page, is that open?
It's still open. It's going to be open for, I think, kind of a couple of months still after the event. So it's open. It's still got plenty of time. If people want to put a little donation in, it would be so very, very much appreciated.
Righto. And actually, I'm looking at the page now. It says June the 22nd. So
ages away. I don't know.
So we've got a little bit of
plenty of time if anybody fancies it.
Good stuff. And that I'm going to reiterate the page again is mydonate.bt.com/fundraisers/thehutchrabbit. If you've been inspired to give by Emma's story, please by all means go and visit that site.
Yeah, thank you. I would really appreciate it.
No, that's great. Well, we'll let you go now and let you kind of prepare for these last 5 hours. I'm sure they're going to fly by, I hope.
Yeah. Thanks.
But no, thank you very much for coming on and updating us as to where you are and kind of answering the couple of questions that we had.
Yeah,
so,
and congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it, guys. Cheers.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
And that was Emma. Really nice lady.
Indeed.
Yeah, a very worthy cause that I didn't realise was before Friday or Thursday.
No, exactly.
Friday.
It's been a learning curve for the both of us, hasn't it?
Yeah, and hopefully for you guys as well. Now, so that was all the seriousness. There was us saying thank you to you lot for being inspiring us. There was Emma inspiring
us,
people,
and
to
you,
love
and hopefully
and
you'll get in touch.
And look after your rabbits. Let's get on to something else. Now, a few weeks ago, your birthday, last month even, you had issues with Ryanair.
Yes, and I still haven't figured those out, which means I still can't go out to see Michael.
I mean, is that on principle or just because Joe hasn't got a passport still, so you can't fly out?
No, it's
or are they
money.
Not letting
money.
You? Oh, the money side.
I haven't got the money.
Because you haven't got the money. Oh,
yeah.
fuckers.
Yeah,
right. Well,
but
actually,
because I've been focusing on trying to get a job, so now I've got the focus off that. I can focus solely on eDreams, and they're going to fill the full force of my.
So, I mean, you're not put off of flying Ryanair. That's all.
No, I'm just put off of booking anything through eDreams because they're cunts.
Good point. Would you fly international with Ryanair? Because that's what they're planning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Transatlantic Ryanair flights.
No, I don't think I would.
Now, the craziest thing about these is how much does it normally cost to fly to America? A couple of hundred?
A few hundred quid,
yeah. With Ryanair, they're going to have a limited number of seats on their transatlantic flights.
Right.
For £10 one way. Like, that's great. That's a bargain. I'd love to fly to America for £10. Maybe we could get out to sing in her church.
Yeah, that would be the way we could do it.
What would a £10 seat get you, though?
About 3 inches of legroom.
Can you imagine if you were in one of the £10 seats and the guy behind you paid £300 for his, to compensate for the fact that you hardly paid anything?
Yeah. Sod that. What? So actually, they're leasing seats from.
I'm not entirely sure. They're going to start flying transatlantic flights. They're going to be buying aeroplanes to fly transatlantic.
I see. So it's not like they'll be on a BA bit. There'll be the Ryanair section, which has no legroom.
I don't know. I think it is actually a Ryanair flight.
They're going to be actual Ryanair flights.
Yeah. From what I read. Now, that was just a segue into something.
Yeah.
Using the Ryanair.
It was a very well disguised segue. Well done.
It was up until the point I... But Joe sent us a story.
She did, yes.
Now, this is something I had saved myself, and then she tweeted it. I was like, fuck. But you said you hadn't actually read it. There was a lady on Sunday this week who was just flying into Gatwick from Jamaica, 46-year-old woman. Now, British people on aeroplanes tend to get drunk.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's just British people. I think there's a whole thing of people tend to like to have a drink before they get on the plane. It relaxes them,
settles nerves and things.
Yeah.
You get the drink before you get on the plane, but then some people carry on drinking. Yeah, on the
some
plane.
people like your man from REM or Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah,
or,
yeah. But this lady, she took getting rid of those pre-flight nerves to the next level when she had so much to drink that she stripped off in front of the whole plane and started performing a solo sex act.
Okay, then.
In front of everyone on the plane.
She really did let herself go, didn't she?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a next level kind of drunkenness.
It's a bit much. She was arrested for caution for public indecency, I think.
Right.
Like, I would have thought you'd get much more. It's like kids on that flight.
Yeah, like holiday makers, family holidays. That's what you want to do, isn't it? You start your family holiday by watching someone.
What makes a person, though, when I don't think I've ever been that drunk that I decided I want to stand in the middle of the streets and beat one out, to be honest.
Get your chap out and give him a good pounding. No.
It's a bit odd, isn't it? Unless she was a nymphomaniac. I mean, she could have been.
Yeah, perhaps she's some sort of
this
sex
is a good
addict.
idea. I don't know if there was some altercation there, like she was being told to stop drinking, and it was kind of like a defiance thing. Yeah.
If you think drinking's bad, just wait until I start this.
Want me to stop? Give me a drink. Yeah. Now this flight got to its destination. Luckily, this isn't a plane crash, by the way.
Oh, right, okay.
We're not going to
go on to plane crash stories.
We're not going there again. This has been a nice episode.
Yes, let's keep it
We want
nice.
the comedy. We don't want that. So there was a flight. They were going to Dubai. This was British Airways as well.
Okay.
The last one was British Airways. This is British Airways, I believe. There's a picture of a British Airways plane. You never know with some websites.
True.
So there was a councillor. There was a politician, I think, actually. Abhishek Sakdev.
Okay.
Apparently, he's British party, I believe.
Okay.
But they were flying to Dubai anyway. And then there was an announcement. The pilot announced that he had to stop the flight, turn it around and fly back. They hadn't really got that far. His words, apparently, the pilot said, you might have noticed a nasty smell on the plane coming from the toilets. Somebody had basically had such a bad time in there that they had to turn around.
Oh my God.
And return to the airport.
To have them cleaned out?
Basically, yeah. Well, the flight had to be cancelled, and they had to be put up in a hotel, and then had flights the next day.
Oh my God!
Someone destroyed a toilet. His actual words were, "It was liquid fecal excrement." Yeah, they're the words he used. Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be happy. Again, if that was the start of my holiday.
But would you be proud?
What if I was the one who caused it? It's definitely...
I made a plane turn round.
With the power of my own crap.
The power of shite compels you to turn the plane around. Yeah, so obviously the reason for that is because on an aeroplane the air is recycled.
Yeah.
Like there's no fresh air, so you can't, if it's that bad, you can't.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I mean, it's bad enough because most planes smell of fart anyway.
Yeah,
because of
it's that classic Lee Evans joke, like the cushion
you're
sitting on takes it in. So, but it doesn't smell from when you're on there. When you come in and you sit down, it all just kind of wafts. Yeah. It all wafts up in your face.
But if you've got some horrible liquid style diarrhea thing going on, it's just. Oof.
It's terrible, isn't it? I mean, like, it is one of those that if you're on that plane, you would be pissed off. Because the thing is, you've got, like, this woman beforehand, you've got the nerves before. So you drink. I mean, you're drinking at an airport bar, so you've spent a lot of money to relax yourself enough to get on that plane. You're on the plane, it has to turn around. You sober up the next day, you've now got to drink in an airport bar again for the next flight the next day.
Oh, my word. Well...
Yeah.
I think there's the warning from this week, I suppose.
Yeah. Don't drink so much that your bowels make it. Oh yeah.
Or that you get a bit frisky.
Yeah. Make sure you go before you leave.
Yeah, and maybe avoid flying Ryanair transatlantic.
Yeah, £10.
I'm not sure about that.
I think for a £10 transatlantic flight, they wouldn't turn you round. They'd make you put up with that smell for the whole journey.
Yeah. Ugh. It's not worth thinking about, is it?
No. I do apologise for that nice, scatological ending.
Yeah. But, you know,
to an otherwise nice episode.
We had to bring it down into the gutter, didn't we, somehow?
Yeah.
Notice how we started swearing the minute we're off the phone call.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We're bad people. So, for Anywhere But Here this week, I've been Tom.
I've been Ant.
Bye.
Bye.